Good morning, my friends. You are looking live at some Hornet swag. We have some Chains of Champions. Mr. Morgan, tell us a little bit about the Chains of Champions.
Chains of Champions, yes. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mr. Brian Oliver for the creation of these wonderful pieces of equipment here. But we've got some swag here that we're going to be able to give out to some kids that are displaying our mission statement, which is what, Mr. Jones?
Oh, absolutely. Holding high expectations for every student by creating educational opportunities that promote student growth, student
ownership,
student
leadership,
and the service of
others.
Right? We call it GOLO. That's what we call an acronym in the English language arts world. So, we want to highlight those who are doing what we ask them to do daily, faithfully, adhering to those little things and letting those big things take care of themselves, surrendering the outcome. So if you have quality attendance, you're there to class on time, we want to promote punctuality, you're getting good grades, you're doing the types of things that are furthering the culture and the mission of this building, we want to highlight it, we want to see it, we want to promote it, and we want to give you a chance to walk around with this for how long?
A day.
A day. A day you get to walk around and be the bee's knees, the Hornets'
Yep, don't ask.
hamstring. I don't know.
Yep.
Not the bee's knees,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to edit that right on out.
But here's what I will tell you. We're going to have a lot of fun with these things. This is going to earn your way to some camaraderie with some pals of your choice. And that will happen during lunch. So we can go play 9 square out in the courtyard. We might even be able to get some laser tag into the gym. But we've got all kinds of fun things that we're going to do with these as well to celebrate our wonderful students.
Laser tag may be a little bit of a trap because this guy, he's undefeated. I don't know how he does it. I think he's got a cheat code, maybe a game genie. I'm not exactly sure. All right, chapter 5, nothing is a test. I'm going to go ahead and start off with page 14. Kick it to my man, Mr. Morgan. He's going to take page 15, and then we're going to summarize this with some reflection questions. Make sure you have your notebook or your journal handy because we're going to be putting that to good work here at the conclusion. Chapter 5, nothing is a test. But try as he might, John kept unconsciously slipping back into his old habits. Growing up, he had always succeeded in sports and school by focusing on proving himself. Some of his coaches even told him they liked the way he played with a chip on his shoulder. And even in the peaceful environment of the samurai community, it was hard for him to shake those instincts of seeing life as one test after another to prove his worth. Without realizing it, he began to pride himself on completing each drill and archery movement the fastest, and even made sure that he chopped more wood and carried more water in less time than the other apprentices. One day, he was so focused on this that he filled his buckets well above the normal level. Walking briskly toward the community house, his foot caught the lip of an old root buried in the ground, and the weight of the water in his bucket sent him toppling over. He slammed to the ground, soaked to the bone. But just as he opened his mouth to shout in anger, he noticed Akira watching him. The old sensei had seen the whole thing, and as John picked himself up painfully off the ground, Akira pulled John to his feet, picked up one of his buckets, and walked with him back toward the well. "You were carrying a lot of water, weren't you?" he asked.
John shrugged, trying to play it off. "I guess I don't think about it. I just try to carry the most that I can." Akira saw through this, asking quietly, "The most that you can, or just more than any of the others?" John reddened, caught as Akira went on. "John, you keep getting in the way of your own potential because you keep seeing everything as a test. The secret is to understand that nothing is a test, but only an opportunity to learn and grow. Many people never fulfill their potential because they look at every situation in life as a test. If you look at something as a test, then you will focus only on passing the test instead of maximizing your growth through the experience. Over time, the person who is simply focused on maximizing what they can learn and how they can grow will become much greater than the person who sees life as one continual test to prove themselves." John nodded, struggling with that wisdom. "Don't fall for the trap, John. Even tests in school are not tests. Nothing is a test. It's only an illusion. Everything is an opportunity to learn and grow because remember, you are building your own house.
Building your own house. That goes back to chapter 1. I'm going to get us into the corner here. So as we look at the quote to consider here, I think one of the more powerful quotes is when Akira says to John, John, you keep getting in the way of your own potential because you keep seeing everything as a test, but actually nothing's a test. They're just opportunities to grow and learn. So with that being said, I wanted to reflect on a couple of questions. Now will be a good time for you to get your notebook or your journal back out, and you can mark this chapter 5, nothing is a test. The first one is this. How does the tendency to compare ourselves to others limit our potential? You know, a wise person once said, comparison is the thief of all joy. Boy, I found that to be true in my own personal life, right? Contentment, there's great gain in contentment, but comparison, sometimes that can steal your joy. Second question, Mr. Morgan.
What is one area where you can consciously shift your focus from comparison to personal growth?
So now we get a chance to put this into practice, and we get a chance to work some practical application in this. Let's think back to an actual spot in your life where you might be focused on the performance of others rather than the performance of yourself. And I'm not even in love with that word performance, but you might be focused more on the habits of others or comparing yourself to others rather than comparing today to yesterday and getting better than we were each and every moment. Last question is this. See if you can think of one maybe test that you're currently facing. And how can you reframe that? If nothing is a test, how can you reframe that formerly perceived test, formerly thought of test, into an opportunity where you can grow, into an opportunity where you can learn, into an opportunity where you can get better? With that being said, we really want to thank you for being here with us today. Mr. Morgan, you have any words at all for those? We gave you a little bit. I'm going to get this Hornet here prominently displayed. All right. We really are looking to highlight some students. And you know what? We forgot to say something. Beyond students,
Our staff.
we're going to be looking to highlight some of the efforts of the tremendous staff. I would give a Hornet to every staff member like that, but we're going to have one next week, two next week, 2 and 2, the old Chuck Woolery. We are going to give 2 Hornets to staff next week as well, in addition to 2 students, a 7th and 8th grader. So keep chopping wood, keep carrying water, and even if you don't get that outcome of wearing that Hornet next week, stay diligent and faithful to the process, and the product will take care of itself.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I thought of on that last question, Mr. Jones, is if we replace the word test with challenge, would that still work? What is one specific challenge you are currently facing? How can you reframe it as an opportunity?
I love that. This moment right now is a little bit of a challenge. Hold that thought. Look at that. An opportunity to grow. Just like that. It's a challenge. All right.
It's never a bad day with Mr. Jones.
What an opportunity to grow, except for my little thing. There we go. All right. Good luck to you. Hope you have a great Friday, my friends.